Sustainability means meeting our own needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. There are three pillars of sustainability, and these are environmental, social, and economic. This means that for a journey to be considered sustainable, it must be economically viable, have positive social outcomes, or not impact the environment. Hill, 2012, suggests that there is no science as to how sustainable an activity is or isn't. This, he explains, is because environmental impact can't be measured against social or economic impact. They all are very different, and despite contributing to one overarching concept, parallels cannot be drawn between them. Adventure and adventure tourism has a large impact on the environment. ATIS 2020 suggests that it has an impact globally and locally. This is because extensive travel can be involved in accessing locations that are suitable for certain activities, and the activities themselves can have a lasting impact on the environment. This could be through footpath erosion, microplastics entering the watercourses from technical clothing, and participants dropping litter or not adhering to leave no trace principles. The BMC 2023 has suggested that the impact of adventure can be greatly decreased by lift sharing, taking litter home with you, and leaving no trace, reusing and repairing equipment, and purchasing new equipment from sustainable brands. Beyond environmental sustainability, adventure provides opportunities for economic and social sustainability. This is through improved mental well-being, as accessing green spaces and engaging in green exercise is proven to improve anxiety levels and general mood. Adventure can also put us into uncomfortable situations, and overcoming these can offer feelings of accomplishment and pride and can boost self-confidence levels. This is used in adventure therapy, which is delivered through many activities including surfing, climbing, and mountain biking. Adventure also offers economic stability. It is a thriving sector, and there are opportunities to work and generate income through providing adventurous experiences. Institutions such as the NHS are now prescribing adventure therapy to those struggling with their mental health and well-being. The Welsh Parliament is examining a piece of legislation which proposes to offer every child in the Welsh school system the opportunity to access outdoor residential experience at least once in their journey through state education. It is suggested that these adventure experiences will create a more active Wales, and students will reimagine their potential and undertake exciting activities which will improve their self-confidence, self-esteem, and their belief in their ability to overcome adversity. As well as the Wellbeing for Future Generations Act 2015, that aims to create a resilient and healthier society, an opportunity for all school children to access an outdoor adventure programme should support and assist in achieving this aim. Resilience and health are key aspects of social sustainability, and outdoor adventurous experiences can be used to improve and develop these key characteristics which are required to move back towards a greater well-being and sustainable economic growth in Wales. This expedition is going to take us to another Gaelic nation. We will be travelling to Glenfinnan, deep in the Scottish Highlands. From here, we will walk into Scotland's last great wilderness, Knoydart. Knoydart is a peninsula on the west coast of Scotland. Despite being part of the mainland, it is not connected to the UK road network. It can only be accessed on foot or by boat. We will be aiming to walk in and use a passenger ferry to exit. The Knoydart Peninsula is community owned. The Knoydart Foundation purchased the Knoydart estate in 1999 on behalf of the community. From here, it has seen its monocultural landscape transformed into a diverse, sustainable environment. Native trees have been reintroduced and allowed to grow, as they were previously burned and cleared for grouse shooting and deer stalking. The John Muir Trust is also involved in this project and have helped to create a sustainable land management project. Knoydart is also economically sustainable. Since the community buyout, it has taken ownership of the shops, pub and accommodation. It also has a ranger service, a community garden and a bike hire, with purpose-built trails to enjoy. This has created an economically sustainable community as well as environmentally. The Knoydart Foundation is a living wage employer and has many work opportunities across its wide-ranging facilities. The growing popularity of Knoydart has led to other businesses sprouting up on the peninsula, including a small brewery. The circular economy that exists through the Knoydart Foundation is complemented by other businesses which have been set up in the area. Knoydart's attractive economic model has encouraged outside investment, which has provided more income, more full-time residents, and more opportunities for employment and sustainable growth. Our journey is going to take us from Glenfinnan to Inverie. This is going to take us 3 days, with 2 longer days walking and a shorter day to allow us to enjoy some time on Knoydart before returning to Glenfinnan via a ferry crossing to Mallaig. The time will be your own to enjoy and experience being within the community. Being in Scotland's last wilderness, the walk aims to provide us with a sense of solitude as we will be walking through the remotest area of the UK. Access to nature can foster well-being in solitude, and although we will be walking as part of a group, we will develop feelings of remoteness and experience the wilderness. This is good for mental health and well-being, and exposure to solitude can help us when we experience this in our day-to-day lives. Instead of solitude evoking negative feelings, it can instead be used for rest, rejuvenation, stress relief, and reflective thought. The purpose of this is to explore social sustainability. Does exposure to remote outdoor environments improve our resilience and resolve? Could we use this experience to improve our own mechanisms for dealing with solitude and loneliness? This journey is 42 kilometres with 1,700 metres of ascent. We will be self-sufficient throughout this expedition. We will need to carry our own food, and this means a means of filtering and purifying water, as well as technical equipment. We will not be summiting any of the Munros during this expedition, as this route will be sticking to the valleys. This isn't to say that it will not be a challenge, and there will still be a lot of height gain and long days of heavy packs, and we will take in 2 mountain passes. The camping spots are as yet unplanned. There is a right to roam in Scotland, which means we can camp anywhere on unenclosed land. Having this flexibility allows us to make decisions dynamically in the moment. This allows us to operate and lead in a democratic manner and will allow us to assess our options and present them to the group based on the information we have available in that moment. Travelling through the afternoon and evening from Carmarthen via minibus, we will arrive at Fort William around 9 p.m. We will then wild camp nearby, ready for the expedition the following day. Day 1, the walk will take us from north from Glenfinnan, the site of the famous Glenfinnan Viaduct or the Harry Potter Bridge, and we will climb the first of our 2 mountain passes before finding a spot to camp for the night. How far we will walk depends on how the group is faring on the first day. After breakfast on day 2, we will continue our walk, travelling west and out onto the peninsula. We will pass by 3 bothies on this stretch of journey. These may offer us shelter from inclement conditions and a space to light a small fire and warm up should we need it. We will aim to make this day a longer leg, but again this will depend on conditions and how the group fares. Day 3, the finish line is in sight. The final day sees us climb over 500 metres before the gradual descent into Inverie. A cold pint, explore the village and take in the views and chat with locals. This is a truly special place and one that will stay with you for a lifetime. The leaders of this expedition are competent and experienced and have been walking in the hills and mountains for many years. They will have the final say on decisions relating to the group. They will carry a first aid kit, large emergency shelter, emergency items, and a satellite phone. In the event of an emergency requiring extraction, they will contact Mountain Rescue. The teams that operate on Knoydart are Lochaber Mountain Rescue Team and Glenelg Mountain Rescue Team. There is vehicular access at the end of Loch Arkaig, which is only a kilometre from our intended route. This point is around a third of the way into the walk. The walk will be strenuous at times, and the group needs to be prepared for tough conditions and a long time away from creature comforts. A fair level of fitness is required, and participants need to be prepared for potentially long or tough sections of walking. The leader will be responsible for the navigation. They will lead the walk, although there may be learning opportunities within this. As we can see from the map, there is not much phone signal about on any of the 4 networks. However, there will be time when we pass through this area of signal. This will be an opportunity for leaders to access updated weather reports, which will allow them to make informed decisions with regards to the expedition. For example, if heavy rain is expected later in the day, they may encourage the group to push on so that they can make up ground and get set up for camp before the rain comes in. They may use the boffies as a strategic point to avoid the worst of the weather. The walk's principal aim is to investigate sustainability. We are travelling a long way, but it is to a very sustainable corner of the world. We will be walking through wild open country, leaving no trace on the land. We will experience solitude and remoteness, passing through some stunning, untouched landscapes. We will explore our feelings and look at how we can use this experience to better manage our health and well-being. We will spend time in the Knoydart community and will have a chance to witness firsthand their sustainable way of life. We will see how their vision of sustainability has become a reality. Being 3 days long, there will be lots of time to talk, reflect, ask questions and learn. The leaders of this walk are very knowledgeable and will hopefully be able to guide and educate you through this environment. The aims of this walk are clear, however, nothing is guaranteed. There are 4 boffies on this route which will offer us emergency shelter should we need it. The weather in Scotland can be very changeable. Having these boffies along the route can give us something to aim for should the weather come in. With a big group, we won't be able to plan to use the boffi, but they could be used as a base in the evening to shelter from the weather and cook and spend time in the dry, warm space. The access point at Loch Arkaig could offer an escape route. Should it come to it, we could arrange a pickup from this point to go and fetch the bus. Obviously, that would lead to us staying put for a very long time. From this point, the route we have chosen is the most direct to Inverie. There is a farmhouse near the Sourlees boffi, but there is no guarantee that this will be inhabited or that people will be there to help. Plan B from this point would constitute turning around and returning to the access point. Personal kit. Here is a list of everything that you will need, plus some extras to make your lives more comfortable. It is worth organising yourselves into groups so that you can share tents, stoves and other items between you. This will make your bags lighter and the trip more manageable. The leader will carry the emergency group kit listed. Although this trip has a long travelling time and requires a large amount of fuel, this is still surprisingly sustainable compared to individual journeys. If 15 people were to sign up to this trip, the fuel cost per person would be around £18 per head. This is a very cheap way of travelling a long distance. Experiencing a community built on sustainable principles may spark changes in environmental, social and economic habits. This experience will give people the tools to make their lives more wholly sustainable. Participants may change their attitude towards solitude, building the mental and physical resilience to undertake more exercise and adopt a healthier lifestyle, or by simply using more public transport and buying local to reduce their carbon footprint. Although this is a daunting task, the route works out at around 8 miles and 600 metres of elevation per day. This is not an unreasonable distance or height gain and would provide a challenge without being unmanageable. It is commensurate with my abilities and I would be operating well within my competency. Late spring and summertime may offer more favourable weather conditions and more daylight hours to complete the walk.